All right, everybody, here we are. Last day of Washed Up. I am again in my home office. It is Sunday, September 20th, but you will probably not be watching this until Friday, September 25th. So, here is our last chapter of Washed Up. Chapter 5, page 49. In the cloud forest, the ferns parted to reveal Shen, almost kneeling over from the weight of his backpack. It had been a hard climb back up to his family. Too bad a zip line couldn't travel upward. Mr. Liu had a hollow cough now, and May had patted her mother's clothes with tufts of cotton from the pods of a silk cotton tree. The Lius were still cold. And when the coconut husks Shen brought back caught fire with the first strike of a match, they huddled around it silently. We'll cross the river into the lowlands tomorrow, Shen told May quietly. May raised her eyebrows. Mountain rivers were notoriously ferocious and fast flowing. Then Shen showed her the makeshift rope he had twisted out of stripped bark. But Mom can't swim, hissed May. Shen then produced the orange harness. They would hitch their parents to the rope and cross the river at its broadest, shallowest point. How I got this harness is a long story for when we're out of here, he said, when May pressed him for an explanation. Oliver limped back to his parents with a thermos of water that they fell upon gratefully. What took you so long? Said Mrs. Walpole as soon as she caught her breath. On Shen's advice, the Walpoles moved north slowly, boiling water in the saucepan Gabriella had found with borrowed matches. Eventually, they found a stream, and that stream led to a larger one, and then down all the way to the river and to food and water. We're safe, shouted Mrs. Walpole, frolicking in the water. We've done it. I always knew we could. Cut off by high tides, Gabriella took the longest to return to camp. Her heart beat faster as she glimpsed her father, crouched at the bank of the swamp. She would tie the spare mosquito net Shen had given her around her father's ankle, and then they could head for the river Shen had told them about. But when her father turned, he was smiling. The ankle's much better, he said, and I've never been happier to see a mosquito net. He showed her why. Mr. Garcia strung their net across the low tide line as the salty tidal waters washed in and out, leaving behind a generous catch of fish. No more coconuts for dinner, he said gleefully, and Gabriella threw her arms around her father as she realized parents could be pretty surprising sometimes. Well, here we are on day 21, and our winners have been revealed. It's really no surprise that so many of our viewers voted for the Garcias, said Berry Blue, blowing her nose into a lacy white handkerchief. There were so many reasons why they deserved to win today. There were only 2 of them to begin with, and then Mr. Garcia was injured and they had to stay put. Yet they managed to stay alive. But do you know what I found most winning? And not just me, but all of our viewers too. And here, Berry Blue's chin trembled dramatically. That the Garcias decided to share their prize with the Walpoles and the Lius. And now the flying cameras panned across the beach to where the 3 families, were sitting around a fire, cracking open coconuts, barbecuing fish, even laughing. In the wild, plants compete for sunlight, and animals compete for food and water, Berry Blue was saying now. Who would have thought that 3 children could rewrite the very rules of survival? But they did, and they taught the grown-ups a thing or two about working together, pooling resources, and sharing knowledge. A fat tear rolled down Berry Blue's perfect cheek. That's the takeaway, my friends. For those of us who stayed at home on our comfy couches, watching and voting, it isn't just human beings who survive on this remote island, but humanity too. And that's the end of Washed Up. I hope that you enjoyed it. And today we're going to finish up our Plot Mountain. Have a great day, everybody.